Welcome into Fantasy Now Plus, the NFL Draft post recap. Round one or night one was last night. We're going to go ahead and break down every single fantasy relevant player that was drafted last night. Big night for the NFL, huge night, successful night, fun night. Before we get any further, though, I wanted to bring in my buddy, my boss, my pal, the one and only Justin Bowerly. He is super stoked today because his Indianapolis Colts actually swung and hit a single. So let's go. Let's go. He's happy. He's happy. He's excited. We're clapping. We're all cheering. How was it at that moment when your Colts picked the player that you wanted? Now, I know that we all have our favorite teams. I'm like, we want this guy. We want this guy. Very rarely do they pick the player we want. How does it feel?
It feels great. It was destined, like I said, from the Big Ten championship on. Since that moment, I was Tyler Warren, no matter what. And that's a draft day reference if you didn't know. No, I mean, I was on a stream last night and watching it. And of course, I was ahead of the draft. I was helping Sean spoil picks on our Blue Sky account last night. So as soon as I saw that name come through before it even hit the TV, I just again. Yeah, that was me last night. It kind of hurt though, because immediately everybody was like, "Oh, he's going way down my draft board for rookie drafts and dynasty drafts and all that." So curious about that, but I'm sure we'll talk about it today.
Yeah, I will talk about a bunch. You know, the biggest takeaways, the biggest winners, biggest losers, of course, we'll talk about. My biggest takeaway was Shadir Sanders not being drafted at all in the first round. I think that's a big talking point for most people today. Maybe not, but in my world, it is because he was a very polarizing player coming into the draft. At first, it was don't be drafting my son because we only want to go here and here and here. Now it's please draft my son, please. So it's just funny how that worked out. I'm not rooting for anyone's demise, or I want everyone to be successful, and I hope he gets drafted tonight. I have some predictions for that. I think he's going to get drafted today. He has to. Another big takeaway from me was the Jacksonville Jaguars selling out, going all the way up, getting their guy, possibly the best player in the draft. That was massive. I don't know how you feel about it. We will get into it, of course. Do you want to go just pick by pick, or do you want to go with our favorites and our losers? How do you want to handle this today, Justin?
Well, I want to talk about Shador for a second because before the draft, he posted he basically like, no matter what happens tonight, I'm gonna build off that. I'm like, that is a sign that you're not going first round. And it didn't seem that way all night last night. I mean, you got through pick 9 when the Saints drafted and they didn't go quarterback or even offensive player. So you're looking at that and you're thinking, or they went offensive tackle. Sorry. They did go offensive player. But at that point you're like, okay, 21 maybe. And then the Giants trade up and you're like, well, maybe there, but then they're Dable likes Jackson Dart. And you're like, well,
Yeah,
that's odd. That's awkward.
It was very odd. So full disclosure, I did fall asleep right after Travis Hunter was picked.
Yeah, you did.
So
Yeah,
I was knocked out. I woke up around 4 a.m. and I checked ESPN.com immediately. I don't watch their television, but their website is way better than NFL's, so that's why I went there. And I saw that I was looking for Sanders. That's the first thing I did. Where'd Sanders go? Where'd Sanders go? My eyes were blurry. I was squinting my eyes real quick. I said, man, I can't find Sanders. Turned my phone off, went back to sleep. Woke up at 6 and go, okay, I must have been super tired. No, he still wasn't picked. So I was really surprised by that. I thought for sure he'd be a first round pick. Before we go any further and break down these players and what they mean to our dynasty drafts, I want to please encourage you to go to fantasyplus.com, fantasynowplus.com, where everything is updated immediately. As soon as someone's picked, Sean and Justin are on Blue Sky, knocking it out, banging it out, giving out picks before they're announced on television. How dare you guys, by the way? That's why I watched the NFL Network, because ESPN was doing that shit. And I was like, everyone did. Everyone complained about it. Like before the pick was in, we see the guy smiling on the phone. But I guess some people want their news now. That's why we're Fantasy Now Plus.
Well,
Go ahead.
There were some people out there that were asking who is making the picks on Blue Sky
Yeah.
before they're announced, because they don't want to hear the, all right, well, we're gonna bring on this person to announce that. Like, okay, come on. We want to know who's picked, and we want to be
Mhm.
the first person to know about it. I mean, there were times where Sean was talking about last night how
Yep.
he had the 49ers were on the clock. The pick was in, and we had announced the pick like 5 minutes ago, and they still hadn't like announced the pick because it was on a commercial break. And they're all talking about like, I think it's this person. And Sean was like, nope, it's this person. They're like, no, I think it's gonna be this person. We're like, dude, the pick has been made, man. So
Yeah.
people want that information. And if you do, you obviously know, come to us. We'll give you that information. But if you don't, just watch the broadcast and stay off social media.
Yep, and we also have our rankings up there for rookies, which we'll be updating as the draft goes on. If you want some articles, we have that as well. Tim Holstad put up a best Superflex rookies going into your draft. So if you're in a Superflex league and maybe you're new to Superflex and you're trying out for the first time, go ahead and check out those articles. We're always banging out some good articles up there as well. Justin had a mock draft, which is irrelevant now because the draft is already over. And join our Discord. We're growing. We have 41 members now. We're growing small but strong. Really good conversations over there. Discord link in the description below. Now let's move on with the draft.
Yeah. So obviously we were right about the first pick overall. Cam Ward went first overall to the Tennessee Titans. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Easy.
Cam Ward.
Easy.
101.
Easy. Calm down, everyone.
Okay, that's enough.
This was obviously the slam dunk pick of the night. Everyone knew this was going to happen. Now, what happens next? Is he going to be another quarterback ruined by a terrible organization, or is he going to be a quarterback that flourishes and turns an organization around? It's really up to him and what they put around him. So I'm very wary. I'm not going to lie to everyone watching the stream. I'm one league in particular. I traded up for 102 months ago to draft Cam Ward because I need quarterback, and Genty's already been announced he's going to be 101 in that league, and I believe the guy. So I traded up for Cam Ward. Ever since Tennessee said they're drafting him, I don't want Cam Ward anymore on my football teams. So this brings, or my fantasy football team. So this brings this situation up: is do you draft for need, draft for want, draft for talent?
Yeah.
Is Cam Ward still your 102 going into Superflex leagues?
I don't think I had Cam Ward at 102 in general.
Wow.
Just knowing that he was probably going to Tennessee, I don't like that fit. A lot of people keep making the comparison, Steve McNair, and I'm like, well, he could also be Vince Young. We don't know. Like I don't love the talent around him. I think he loves the talent around him more than anyone else. Calvin Ridley, okay. Again, we don't have to hash out how I feel about Calvin Ridley. I don't think he's a top 24 wide receiver in the league. Just me. Maybe top 20. Tyjae Spears, Tony Pollard are okay. I think they steal from each other more than they help each other. It's not like David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs in Tennessee. It's not that. It's like Team C if you had to take two running backs. So it's Chigo Okonkwo, like whatever. They don't really have an offensive line built up yet. So they need to make a lot of additions through this draft if they really want to give Cam Ward the most successful possibility. Like, I don't love their coach, Brian Callahan. He has proven that he can't, like, it wasn't him in Cincinnati, which I could have told you that. Zach Taylor's an offensive minded coach. And he had Joe Burrow. Like, Joe Burrow and Will Levis are not the same. So I'm curious how this goes out. He was almost the only quarterback drafted last night until the Giants traded up. He was going to be the only quarterback drafted last night if the Giants did not trade up. So I have him probably 103 in Dynasty. I'd prefer to have two others over him.
Is the other person drafted last night? Was the other person drafted last night?
Both of them were, yeah.
Okay.
So Ashton Genty, I think, is the 101 in drafts. Yep. He is the Saquon Barkley of your draft. He's the Derrick Henry, Marshawn Lynch type player. I think he is going to be a stud. The Raiders really hit hard on that. I think they went out, they got Geno Smith. Yeah, their wide receiver core is Jacoby Myers and
Brock Bowers. Brock
yeah, okay.
Bowers.
Well, I wasn't going to mention the tight end, but it's Brock Bowers.
Has to.
Ashton Genty helps. You think about Pete Carroll's teams in the past. Marshawn Lynch was great. I would love to see that like that actually happen more. And with all said and done, like we talked about all these trades moving up into the top 5 to go get Ashton Genty, and he still falls to 6 to the Raiders, which was basically said a month ago. So,
Yeah. It really was. There's a lot of speculation, like Jacksonville really likes Ginty, and I'm just rolling my eyes, as I always do.
yeah.
I take the draft. Like, I understand the importance of the draft, and I understand the hype of the draft. When every content creator and every analyst and every professional and everyone's talking about the draft nonstop, to me, it's nauseating. I want it to be over. I don't want to do a mock draft. I don't want to read your mock draft. No disrespect to anyone that made one. Just let me get the real GM. Yeah, awkward, right? Let's get the real GMs and make the real picks, and then we can react. I'm not a big fan of this. I think he's going here. So the Jaguars. I mean, I'll honestly believe if Tony Khan tweeted out, we're trading up the draft. This is his impersonation. If you didn't know Tony Khan, I'm gonna draft Ashton Genty number 2 overall. We're gonna trade up for him. Like, I would believe him because Tony Khan's a fucking idiot and he would do something like that. So I would understand if he'd leaked that information out. But it was all hearsay, and it's like, oh, really? The Jaguars are going to tell you what they're going to do? That means they're not going to do it. Is this the first time you've ever seen the draft? Okay. I'm off my pedestal. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to reel it in and calm down a little bit. What's going on, Craig? What's going on? Hey, Sean's in the chat, by the way.
Football guys right here. That's what I like to see.
I mean, I try.
Yeah, exactly. I do like what the Jacksonville Jaguars did last night. They traded up. Yep. They got Travis Hunter. All week, for a little while now. I mean, I was hoping, the Browns pick Travis Hunter. They trade up, get Shedeur Sanders, pair those two up together. Now, I did say something wild. Travis Hunter's going back to Jacksonville. He went to Jacksonville State. What if it's not going to happen? What if the Jaguars trade Trevor Lawrence and they select Shedeur Sanders? That'd be wild. That would be wild with Liam Cohen.
It would be wild, but it's just not going to happen.
No, it's not.
And that's another thing with Liam Cohen. I trust him. I trust what he can do with an offense. I was texting my buddy who does listen to the show last night. There's only 3 people I texted during the draft. It was you guys, you and Sean, and it was my buddy Chris. And as soon as Hunter got picked, as soon as he started skipping down the aisle and put his hat on and came out there and danced, I texted my buddy. He skyrocketed up my board. If you looked at my dynasty rankings, my rookie rankings, I had him going mid-second round. I was not interested in Cleveland. If he stood in Cleveland, if he was picked in Cleveland, I was 0% interested in Travis Hunter. We did a mock draft about 3-4 weeks ago, and someone on the FantasyNow team took him in the first round. Not going to say who it was. And I was thinking, do we really want him on our team if he's taking Travis Hunter that high? That's what I was thinking in my head, joking. I'm joking, of course. But in reality, I'm like, I'm not taking this guy in the first round whatsoever in any rookie draft. Now he goes to an offense that needs him, an offense where there's an offensive-minded coach that knows how to use weapons. We've seen it. There's a quarterback already in place. You have an elite number 1 already who's young. I'm all in on Travis Hunter.
I love this position for him. Like being an indie person, I hate it. And because I hate it, that probably means this is going to be great. Because not only are you getting Travis Hunter, the DB, but you're getting Travis Hunter, the probably occasional wide receiver, to pair up with Brian Thomas Jr. on the other side. And you have Trevor Lawrence throwing him the ball. Like, this can only be good. Like, theoretically, I mean, this should only be a good sign for the Jaguars. So I think this is going to be great. It's going to be great for Brian Thomas Jr. Of course, they just got rid of Evan Ingram. They didn't bring him back, or they cut him or whatever. So that opens up a ton of targets. Christian Kirk's gone. Like, this offense is wide open for Travis Hunter to be immediately slotted in there and to immediately have an impact on the offense.
Yep. And my projections of my first rookie rankings were to Cleveland, where I didn't think he'd play much offense. I thought they'd play more defensively, and I wasn't really excited with their quarterback position or anything about Cleveland. I am really excited for some reason for Travis Hunter, which
I
if he
would,
plays, I hope he plays wide receiver more than I thought he was going to play in
yeah,
Cleveland.
in a standard like only offensive player league, I think Travis Hunter's, you're looking at like the 4th pick here, the 104 with him right now. Just because you don't know how much offense he's going to play. He might play a lot, and okay, that bumps him up to, in my opinion, 102. But I could even see him as 103 and moving Cam Ward back to 104. Like, that's just how little faith I have with the Tennessee Titans quarterback situation. So, but in an IDP league with offensive players, Travis Hunter's 101.
Oh, for sure. No doubt.
100% 101.
We talked a little bit about Ashton Jeanty in the top, but let's really talk about it. Going to Las Vegas, they have Sincere McCormick there already. People were a little bit on him. They're not the most explosive offense. They're still trying to figure things out. They got a new head coach. They got, Tom Brady's really taking control and getting players there. They got a new quarterback. They let, Jacoby Myers coming back. Brock Bowers was a slam dunk. This seems like the next step. Get your running back, get your bell cow in a division where you need to score points and put points on the board because you're going against the Chiefs. You're going against the Broncos who can score points. I like this pick a lot. I would like him better somewhere else, but we can't change that now. He's a Raider. So how are you feeling with Jeanty? I'm going to start. We're talking dynasty a lot today, but I'm going to go to redraft. Is he an automatic first round pick in your redraft leagues?
No. I think there were better spots that he could have been a first round pick, but I'm not trusting the Raiders yet. We don't know what that's going to look like. I mean, Pete Carroll is like 95 years old. It's offense ran by Geno Smith. Do we get Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, or do we get Ben McDonald, Geno Smith? Like, which Geno Smith are we getting? Are we getting the Jets, Geno Smith? We don't, like, who knows?
Which Geno Smith do you want? Last year, he set the
Pete
record
Carroll.
for the Seahawks.
I want
Last
the
year,
Pete Carroll Geno.
He did really well last year. You're hating on Geno. You're hating on Geno for no reason. He was really good last year. He set the Seahawks record for the most passing yards in the franchise.
He wasn't QB5. I mean, he was QB5 the year before. So, I again, Ashton's going to be great. I'm not going to go pick in the first round with him. Now, at the turn, sure, I'll take him in the second. I'll take him early second. But I don't think I'm going to take my first round pick. There's a lot of running backs I would prefer to have over Ashton just because I know what they are going to do with their offense. Boise State had a really great offensive line. So how much of this is offensive line? Now, I mean, he had more yards after the contact than any other running back had, period. So who cares about the offensive line, I guess? So he's a freak. The first 85-yard touchdown in like week 1 is going to lock him in. But I think I would still take him at the turn.
I'm going to lock it in right now. Ashton Jeanty is going to be he's going to be going in the first round in all your redraft leagues. So if you want him, if you're in a keeper league, you ain't going to be able to keep him because he can be a first round pick, depending on your rules. And if you are in a dynasty superflex or just dynasty regular non-superflex, you better have the 101 or you're not going to get him. You're just not going to get him. No. DSG label in the chat hopes Miami secures the trenches today. As a Dolphins supporter, I hope so too. And this gives me a perfect opportunity to plug Fins Talk Sports Network. They have been live last night for the draft. They'll be live tonight for the draft. They'll be live Sunday for the draft. Bobby Melendez, Josh Wingate, all those guys over there doing a great job on the Fins Talk Sports Network, who you can find us there every single Friday at noon. And of course, our own page at FantasyNow.com.
I should have joined that last night when I ended my stream at 10.
You could have, and they'll be there all week.
Dang.
And just because the draft is this weekend, DSG, we're missing you Sunday, buddy. We will be live Sunday morning for No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast, breaking down the worst WrestleMania main event of all time. So if you're a wrestling fan, check us out there. Fins Talk Sports Network Sunday. Justin's rolling his eyes, but you know what? George Kittle was there at WrestleMania.
I don't know anything about wrestling, man. I'm not 10 years old anymore, so it's.
If I was the boss still,
shots fired.
I would kick your ass out of here. Colston Loveland, tight end, drafted to the Chicago Bears, as Craig did say in the chat about 5 minutes or 2 minutes ago. Yes,
it happened.
Yes, it happened, and I don't know what to say about it. I don't know how to react to this. We thought there was a better tight end out there, and they
I'll
decided to go Loveland.
I'll tell you, our resident Giants fan, Evan, barely fantasy,
Bears fans.
is very upset. What did I say?
You said Giants fan.
Bears fan. Very upset about this pick. He didn't want a tight end, period. I get it. Like, I would have preferred a defensive player in Chicago, if I'm being 100% honest. Michael Williams would have been a great fit right there. And he went at 11. So, yeah, I feel like Cole Kmet held his ground. I mean, he's a top 12 tight end in the league, top 10 probably, to be honest, in points per game and in PPR formats. But I guess Ben Johnson likes two tight ends. I don't know. So we'll see.
Listen,
The good part here is that they only have DJ Moore and Roma Dunze. Truthfully, like, that's all they got. So now I add Cole Kmet, Colson Loveland to that. You got four guys out there. I think that's going to be good. Overall, I think at the end of the day, this will be a good pick. I'm curious what they do with Cole Kmet and whether or not they field offers for him. But yeah, we did skip one person, Ted McMillan, Panthers.
oh yeah, I wanted to skip him for a reason because I wanted to go into
okay.
the tight ends overall. As in we could talk about both Loveland and of course Tyler Warren. I'm sorry I didn't inform you on that, but I did do some research. The tight end position last night, and this is no shots at nobody. You were very excited that your Colts took Tyler Warren, and I tuned in to the stream you were on last night, and you were not getting well respected, as in you were getting this guy's not it. Maybe because it's Anthony Richardson, maybe it's because of the Colts offense. They just weren't. Nobody was excited for this pick. I don't see how you can't be excited for this pick. We always say the rookie's best friend is a tight end. He's the best tight end in this class, whether or not you want to talk about that or not. There's only been 3 tight ends picked in the first round since 2020. Kyle Pitts, Dalton Kincaid, Brock Bowers. Pitts finished his rookie season tight end 5. Kincaid finished tight end 12. Bowers, of course, tight end 1. Last night you said he will finish tight end 6, and you were kind of giggled at. Guys, tight end 6 for the past 5 years, all you need to do is average 100. You just need to get 170.3 fantasy points. That's very easy. 2024, Andrews did it, 10.8 fantasy points, or 10.8 points per game. He was the tight end 6. And Njoku, previously 2023, was the tight end 6, 12.6. Fryermuth, 10.6. Ertz, 10.3. Andrews, 12.6 points per game. That's what you need for a fantasy tight end 6. It's not that hard. Let's not pretend that he can't do this. He could 100% do this. To laugh at it or to say that you're going to move him down because of where he went is silly to me. Yes, Kyle Pitts never did what he did in 2021. He never did it again, but he did it. He did it really well, actually. He averaged 10.9 fantasy points per game. Kincaid, even when he finished tight end 12, he finished with 9 fantasy points per game as a rookie. Brock Bowers is just a stud. We don't need to compare him to the others, but it could be done. And my point also is when a tight end, which is proof, has been drafted in the first round in the past 5 years, which I've proved, you finish tight end 12 or better. Now, you can say the same thing about Loveland, right? You can say the same thing about Loveland. So I'm not trying to knock the Bears or the Colts or anyone for drafting a tight end. Just know when they get picked early, they're picked early for a reason because they're very good and they can help your offense.
So a couple things. This is the first NFL draft in history where 2 tight ends go in the top half of the first round. That's never happened before. We got close with I think the 15th and 16th pick, but there were only 30 or 28 teams or whatever in the NFL at that time. So that wasn't the first half. Second here, Tyler Warren is going to a team with no tight end. They have a big tight end room, literally physically big, everybody is ginormous. Jelani Woods, got Mo Alley Cox, who they just brought back. Tyler Warren will easily be the tight end 1 yet last night. He's already the tight end 1 on that team. Then factor in the fact that he's probably going to be the second target, maybe the third target at minimum, because you got Josh Downs and Michael Pittman. That's all you got. So now to bring it all back, Anthony Richardson, we know he has a deep ball. Get that. He's proven that. He's got a deep ball. He's more accurate deep than he is short. But knowing what happened last year, knowing Danny Dimes is coming in to take his job, all of these factors, you think he's probably going to work on that short game. And what is better than having an elite tight end in the
Mhm.
short game for a quarterback that's trying to develop and be better?
Yep.
I'm seeing, I would guess, assuming everyone is healthy, Tyler Warren is going to come out with 100 targets, 100 receptions this year. 100 receptions.
I'm not gonna say that. I'll say 100.
Maybe 90
When you said 100
receptions.
targets, I'm all in.
100 targets minimum. I would say he's probably going to come out with at least 90 receptions.
I say a successful year for Tyler Warren is 100 targets, 72 catches, 780 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's good. Like, that's good for a rookie tight end. We all forget that, these rookie tight ends come in, and Craig makes a good point. College level's doing better at tight end now. Yes, they are. And on top of all that, we've seen the success of Brock Bowers. The NFL has. It's a copycat league. You saw the success of Brock Bowers. You saw Dalton Kincaid get drafted early. They saw Kyle Pitts get drafted early, but he's kind of been failing. And you see Sam Laporta balling out as a young player, as a rookie. Teams are going to follow that. They want to get that next player as well. So I don't hate on these 2 picks at all. Loveland's kind of a head scratcher to me. I didn't like that, but it could work out. Warren was a slam freaking dunk. Like, that was the pick of the draft for them. I'm happy.
That was the positional need. They needed that. And going into that, I was very worried that Warren wasn't going to fall back 13 picks to the 14 slot. I was like, oh man, this team, the Saints might draft him, the Bears might draft him. I mean, there were teams that the Jets could have drafted him. Like, there were teams
if
that
the
could have
Dolphins
drafted
drafted
him.
him, I'd be stoked. We love Jonnu Smith on this show.
Mm-hmm.
But come on, it's Jonnu Smith. At the end of the day, it's still Jonnu Smith. I would love to have Tyler Warren. I was actually secretly hoping that the Dolphins would grab him. I knew they wouldn't, but I was secretly hoping they would, but they didn't. So here we are. There's another pick that we did pass on. We're going to go back up to Ted McMillan we said this about Neighbors last year, by the way, to one of the worst spots he could go to. I think this is one of the worst landing spots.
I think he's wide receiver 1.
Can go to. I don't care what you think.
I think he's immediately the wide receiver 1 on the Panthers. I mean,
of course he is.
Xavier Legette's not a wide receiver 1, and that's
of course he's not.
2 years in a row they take a wide receiver in the first round. So you now have 2 first round picks in your wide receiver room. You got a guy like Adam Thielen still there to mentor these guys. I don't hate it. Bryce Young started figuring it out last year. They have a running back room. They need a defense. I want to see what they do in the next 6 rounds, because this could be okay. I'm not saying this is going to be Malik Neighbors here, but he could be okay.
Neighbors did better than we all expected, or at least I expected.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see the Carolina Panthers being that exciting, fun football team that's going to move the ball down the field and score 30 points and do all these fun things. Maybe Bryce Young has to prove it to me one more year. I'm sorry. Getting benched and coming back and having 6 or 7 good games, very good games, isn't enough for me. We saw Justin Fields do that, and he's a straight up bum. He is. I need to see more from Bryce before I get excited for any pass catcher on that offense. I can get excited for their running backs because they're not relied on that quarterback position. I need to see more. I'm not excited for this pick at all. To me, Tet went from 103 in my rookie drafts to maybe 106. Sorry, it just happened that way. There's a receiver that was drafted in Tampa that I would draft over Tet right now.
Easily. I would have preferred Tet to go 1 pick above to the Jets, which is what I predicted was to go to the Jets. I'm not upset with the Jets move with the offensive tackle. You kind of shore up your offensive line, but I think Justin Fields being elusive would have allowed them to take a luxury pick here, get another wide receiver to pair with Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall, and I think that offense could have lit up. Now we got to hope that they figure it out. I think between wide receiver 3 and wide receiver 4 this year, there is a big gap. So we'll see what happens. But there's 4 wide receivers that went off the board last night.
Yeah, there was a lot of wide receivers. So do you want to talk about Egbuka and how I
Yeah.
called it?
You want to talk about Egbuka and Golden, two wide
Yeah,
receivers?
we could definitely do that. For the first time in 23 years, I believe I heard the Green Bay Packers selected a wide receiver in the first round. Aaron
I've never
Rodgers is
seen a crowd
thinking.
so hype for their first round pick being
Do you
called.
think they did it because they were home? Like they were in Wisconsin, so like we got to make them
We
happy.
got we got to make the fans happy. Yeah, probably because I think they would have gotten booed if they picked any other position.
um, this is great for Jordan Love. This is great for Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed is a wide receiver two who's been trying to be a wide receiver one for the past year and a half, and it hasn't worked out. He's been in and out of games. Scores 30 points and scores zero. Very inconsistent. I don't think he could have handled the wide receiver one role, and he hasn't. It's a fact of life. Hopefully, Matthew Golden can come in and get him off of that because we know Christian Watson was a total failure, bust, and we know that Romeo Dobbs is just a solid, again, a wide receiver two. It felt like the Packers had a wide receiver two core, and that's all they had forever. Let's see if Matthew Golden can bring him in that dominance that Jordan Love needs, man. Tucker Kraft has been doing a balling job over there. Musgraves got beat out the tight end position from Kraft. So much better player. I like what we're seeing over there. I love Green Bay. I think they're going to make a push for that division. I just hope Matthew Golden's the guy. That's it.
You talk about how you picked Egbuka right last week and then changed your mind on him. I did pick Matthew Golden correct because I was actually joking with Topher, also part of a friend of the network here or friend of the show, part of the show. That I was like, the Packers are gonna go get Matthew Golden. They're like, no, and then it happened, and they're like, okay. I think they're happy about it. The Packers fans are so.
They
Getting
are.
a first round, this replaces Christian Watson. I think this actually gives them a wide receiver one. Like you said, they have a room full of wide receiver twos and threes. They never had a wide receiver one. I would say Tucker Kraft would have been their wide receiver one had he been a wide receiver. So, yeah, I like this. Emeka, again, we talked about it last week. Talked about Chris Evans. Good Lord, I said it again. Mike Evans.
Said it again.
Yeah, I said it again, literally 2 weeks in a row. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. It's getting to the end. Like we know it's coming, right? Like this is the transition to the new era of the Buccaneers. Emeka will be the wide receiver one, not this year, maybe not even next year, but he will be. And I think he's a lot better than Jalen McMillan. If you have Jalen McMillan, man, I'm so sorry. This is gonna really hurt, but his value is way down.
His value did get take a hit, of course, but I don't. In real football world, he did not. Chris Godwin, people are thinking he's just going to step right back in and be elite wide receiver. Listen, Chris Godwin before last year was a middle of the road, decent receiver that they were playing him at the wrong position. They were playing him outside. He's a slot receiver. So last year he did get put back in the slot and he was elite. Then he got hurt. Guys, he's not coming back full strength. That injury was massive. It was major. So this is a kind of a win now mode. The Buccaneers have been winning a lot of division titles, and no one's really noticing it over here, except for if you live in the Tampa Bay area. And this is a straight up, we're still good. We're still here, and we're still going to win this division. Yes, Chris Godwin might not come back 100%. So let's get someone that can do the job. They had Sterling Shepard out there running routes at one point. When you have Sterling Shepard in 2024 running routes, your wide receiver room has a problem. So this was a huge move for them, and I'm actually excited for it. You're right. I have not finished my new rankings yet, but I will be moving him up to my wide receiver one for rookies.
This is way too early, but I think Emeka Egbuka is currently the leading candidate for Rookie of the Year.
Oh, I can definitely see that.
I will say that on April 25th, 2025. So come back in 10 months. Tell me.
Put the bet in. Put the bet in. If I wasn't Hard Rock app, they suspended my account as of last night. But if I wasn't suspended,
what'd you do?
I don't know what I did. I lost bets. That's what I did. I lost bets. I bet the Lightning and the over, and the Lightning lost 2-0. So I lost money.
So you gave them money, and they're like, "No, we've taken too much money from you."
Bro, Account suspended.
Dude.
I don't know what I did. I lost money. I don't know. No, I emailed them this morning. They're like, your phone number seems error. We're gonna send you a text message. So I emailed them back my phone number. So once I get a text message,
Maybe
them,
somebody tried to log into your account.
that's what I think. I think that's what happened. So I tried to make a bet today, and I'm banned. So
Good job.
good job. Anyway, I would bet. You know what? I would bet that in Buka Rookie of the Year. But let's move on to running back. Mario Hampton got drafted to the, I still say San Diego Chargers. I'm old, but it's the Los Angeles Chargers. First thing I noticed, I logged on Blue Sky, and our buddy Sean, our pal Sean, did not like this. I wish he was here to defend himself. I love this. I love this pick. What's there not to love?
I love it. Like we all saw what like J.K. Dobbins did last year, and J.K. Dobbins is not as good as Amari and Hampton. I know they just went out and got Najee Harris to compete, but
so who cares? He's clearly a number 2 now.
If Najee Harris and Amari and Hampton can be like almost what Gibbs and Montgomery are, which is kind of what it reminds me of. Like Amari and Hampton's more elusive. Najee Harris is more of the ground and pound guy. Like this could be a very good thing for the Los Angeles Chargers. Yeah, should they have gotten a wide receiver? Probably, but was it Matthew Golden? Like, did they want to go that route? I think they could still get a wide receiver. There's not, I mean, like I said, there's a drop off after this point on wide receivers. In my opinion, a lot of people say it's a lot deeper than you really know. I mean, there are guys out there. I think we can probably get a 4th or 5th round wide receiver out there that is going to be pretty good. But I love this pick. I really do. I wish he would have went somewhere else, but I love it. I think he's going to be great on the Chargers.
Okay, so you say wide receiver position. There's a lot of wide receivers that could be on the move. Tyreek Hill could be traded easily. I'm not saying that the Chargers are going to go trade for him, but what if, right? How fun would that be? But we saw what they did last year with just Lab McConkey and just the cast they had, and Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert's good enough to go, okay, I could work with this. Okay, these are my guys. Okay. They did it, guys. They did it with J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. I was watching the ESPN pre-show yesterday, and it said like San Diego Chargers, key losses, J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. I laughed. Gus Edwards. If Gus Edwards is ever a key loss for you, brother, you weren't doing anything good. But again, this is a very, very good pick for him. I don't know if he's my running back 2, though. I don't know if he's still my running back 2 because Genty's obviously my running back 1. But
we'll see where the other guys go.
We got to wait for the other guys. We got to wait for the other shoe to
currently
land.
Is locked in at running back 2.
I don't know if he is. There's another guy out there.
He is locked in at RB2.
But there's another guy I like. I don't care where he goes.
Okay.
I still like him better.
I mean, you were like, Ashton Genty going to the Raiders, like not as good as going here. But
I'm just saying, like, there's a guy out there that I like better. That I don't care where he lands.
Cam Scadbo. Is that it?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. If he goes to Denver, why
Washington.
not? That'd be fun too. Let's talk about this terrible pick that the Giants made here.
Terrible, dang.
So
they traded a lot to get up to this pick too. I mean, they only have 3 more draft picks for the draft.
So I was talking to my buddy, and they're like, "Man, how dumb does Pittsburgh feel? They let the Giants sneak up and get Jackson Dart." And I'm thinking, okay, all right, let's just break down your comment real quick. How dumb does Pittsburgh feel? First off, Pittsburgh's not the one who extended Daniel Jones and let Saquon Barkley walk. Pittsburgh isn't the one who's constantly losing. Oh wait, Pittsburgh's constantly in the playoffs. Okay, let's think about this real quick. The team that sucks and doesn't know what they're doing traded up to get a terrible, sorry, I'm just going to say it on the record, a below average quarterback in my opinion. But it's okay because I like it a little bit because he gets to sit behind Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, and he gets to sit. There's no pressure for him to play. That's the only positive. Other than that, I think this was one of the biggest, it's going to go down to one of the biggest New York Giants fails. I don't see how this can work out in any way. If Dayball's on the hot seat and gets fired, now you're dealing with, this kid has to deal with another new head coach, another new offensive coordinator. And how long will that last? That kills careers. Daboll's on like his last chance. He has to be. He has to be on his last chance. And if he doesn't make this work out, what was this pick for? What was it for? That's all I'm saying.
They said Brian Daboll compared Jackson Dart to Josh Allen. So
sure.
And he's QB3. Like, he can sit and watch. Like, he's got a good locker room with him in that position. I mean, Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, that's going to be two guys that should be able to teach him a lot. He doesn't have to play right away. He can wait. I'm fine on this. Like, they traded, they like their guy. They thought they needed to get back into the first round, and it just so happens the 25th pick is who was willing to trade.
The thing that pisses me off about this pick is I think he's going to be overdrafted in rookie leagues and superflex leagues and they're starting soon, guys. If your draft isn't started yet, it's starting within the next couple of weeks. And I do think that he's going to get overdrafted, and I just don't see a situation where I'd want him on my fantasy team at this point, because I don't think the Giants are going to do very well, and I don't see Daboll staying. And like I said, when those coaches change, things change. Yeah, things just change. Unless they keep the GM and they fire. I don't know how this is going to work. I don't know. But again, this is the same organization that chose Daniel Jones over Saquon, and neither are on the team anymore. Like, neither are on the team anymore. So don't trust this. I can't trust this organization at all.
Yeah. I mean, I would have rather had the other Giant, but
I don't know what you mean by that.
I would have rather had Saquon over Daniel Jones.
Of course.
Of course. In Indy.
Any logical, rational human being would know that, except for you're the front office of New York.
Imagine JT and Saquon together on the same team.
Yeah, I know, right? So
who needs to throw the ball? Who needs to throw the ball? Just run those.
Is that your guys' mindset up there in Indy? Like, who needs to throw the ball? We have Anthony Richardson. Who needs to throw the ball?
Basically, I mean,
but that
was all the offensive players. Yeah, I mean,
listen, I'm excited for tonight, night 2 of the draft. There's a lot of players, a lot of fantasy relevant players still there. I think tonight we will be getting more information. We can go through the top players who's left if you want. Henderson, God, I love Henderson. Sanders, of course. I think he's going to go today. Milroe might go today. Who knows? But there's a lot of players still available. A lot of things can still change. A lot of trades could go down, right? We have trade candidates. We have Ayuk out there possibly getting traded. Tyreek Hill out there. Cole Kmet out there possibly. Who knows? So things could still go down today. Judkins is going to get drafted. Caleb Johnson, like Luther Burden. So
this
if your
the
team
only
missed
other
out,
guy I'd be going for is Luther Burden.
If your team missed out and you wanted that wide receiver, you wanted that running back, there are still options out there. And of course, tune into FTSN tonight. As soon as the draft goes live, they will be live with Josh Wingate, Bobby Melendez, and of course, everyone else on the Fins Talk Sports Network. We'll be live next week, of course, breaking down more draft information, more fun news. In the meantime, join our Discord. The link is in the description. Make sure you go to FantasyNowPlus.com. Sign up for Super League. It supports Extra Life, benefiting the Children's Miracle Hospital or Network Hospitals. And of course, thank you so much for watching. Until next week, peace out.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. We'll be back next week for more ways to win your league.